Hello, I'm Michael Collins. I run a web development agency in the US. We leverage no code and low code tools to enhance your users' experience and help grow your business quickly. Today, we'll be working on wireframing the Morris Edge website, a vacation rental in Provincetown, Massachusetts. This is a rebuild of a site I put together in 2010 on Squarespace. This is the start of a series on taking a simple website and making it more complicated. Just kidding. Adding more functionality to be able to achieve a goal. Let's get started. This is the existing site that we're going to be doing the wireframe for. It's on Squarespace, and I created it 11 years ago. And at the time, they had multiple units. But over the course of the years and opportunities that came up, they sold off 2 of them, kept 1 of them, and we're now going to get rid of this sort of separate accommodations. The Squarespace site is done with a template, but it's not really serving the needs of the client at this point. So that's why we're going to be redoing it on Webflow, because we're going to expand it for additional opportunities in the near future. So let's start. The first thing I'm going to do is go over to the Finsweet site for client first, which is finsweet.com/client-first. And I'm going to look at the resources because I am going to be doing this in a blank project in Webflow, but I'm going to be using one of the wireframing kits, UI kits, that Finsweet has. And you can click into them, open them up as a live site, poke around, see what they have designed into it for nav bars, heroes, all the different sections that you could use. And then one of the things I like to do is use this little extension to have it bring up various mobile sizes. If we scroll down, this is supposed to be a tablet, and then this is supposed to be desktop view. So as you scroll through them, you can see what it's going to look like on various phones and tablets. And then you can choose, if the ones that you want to see aren't there, you can choose different ones on the side. It's a free extension. I can't remember the name. What is the name? I'll put it down below. Oh, you know what I could do is look at the extensions. Responsive viewer. That's what it is. One thing I haven't figured out is once I get into that set of screens, let's do this one. How I get out of it. Doesn't really matter. This is the one that I'm going to be using. I think it's number 2. Just because I like some of the various components in it, and then I can work with that pretty easily. All right, so let's start a new project. It's going to be blank. And the first thing I'm going to do, add a div. This is going to be called page wrapper. And then within that, going to create the header wrapper, the main wrapper, and then the footer wrapper. Oops, you know what I just realized? I am probably putting these in right into the header wrapper. And I am. That's all right. Oops. Come on. There we go. And then I want to bring Webflow up again and then go into the UI kit. And there is these global styles. Cannot copy. Okay, no problem. Gonna add global styles to my own project. Oops. I do want to create that as a that's what happens when you're used to working on a huge, whoops, monitor. Create symbol. There we go. Perfect. All right, so now let's go back over here. And we want to go to components 1, which is where the navigation is. Eventually I want a call to action button that's out there. Do I need a drop down? No. So we're going to work with this one. This one I can copy, paste into the header. So it's going to drop all the links that it has currently set, which is great. And then with other ones, you'll see that it's going to rename some of the styles. And things like this nav2, I'll eventually go around and get rid of that 2. Just because later on, if this goes to somebody else, they'll understand that it's just the nav and not that there is a second nav or a different nav somewhere else. So I won't do that all with this. Now I'll do that off video. All right, so now I want my hero. Oh, I did make a I did make some notes on what sections that I want. Now they liked this big picture here, and I do have to say I like it too since I took it. So we're going to take this thing called section layout 5. Going to go into the main and paste it. Now the only thing I am going to do while I'm here is I am going to rename the sections. So then once we have the hero, we do want some sort of description. You know, this has this copy. So let's look for that. Now, because we are just having this section and it doesn't show anything about the accommodation, I want to actually include a picture. Or two. So since this is just a wireframe, we'll decide how we want to do that. Maybe we'll put like a mini gallery there. And so I'm just going to rename this description. I'm just going to, I just noticed my mouse is probably rather loud. So I'm putting some sort of pad there. Now, this is interesting because you do see that there is no vertical padding, and it doesn't show up here even though it says padding large. So we're going to get rid of this. For the moment, we'll get rid of this. I'm going to do padding large. And this is probably 3 rem. Although that doesn't seem very large. Let's do 6. And we can check that over here. Padding vertical, padding large. There we go. So let's look back over here. Oh, was 3. So 6 must be huge. Come on, padding large 3. And you could actually put whatever you want for that. But it would be nice to stay with the same units, just because if somebody else takes over this later on in the new client first, then they'll have a sense that padding large is 3 rems. All right, so the next section is a sign up or call to action. So let's look for call to action. So we'll take that. CTA. We do want to give them some details. So the next section is going to be some details. So we'll look to see, that says features. Let's look in components too, see if there's anything else in there. Testimonials, clients, something that we can use. It doesn't necessarily have to be, they're not really questions. Pricing. Whoops. Okay. I'm not, this is just because it's a wireframe, it's just going to be a representation. So I'll take this section. Call it details. And what I'm looking for, I can expand on this. I don't know if we'll actually need any sort of description, so it might end up just being an icon and a title. But that represents details, so let's see. Just, oops, name this details manatees. Okay. Next is a big gallery. So something like this. Gallery big. Now, we are going to be creating recommendations, so host recommendations. A lot of times when you get guests renting that don't know anything about the area, they've heard of it, but they don't know anything about it, they will ask for your top recommendations. So we're going to create recommendations. I just want to, there it is, just want to check how. So with the recommendation, you'll want a picture of the place, sort of the kind of thing it is. Is it a restaurant? Is it an adventure, like a whale watch or something else? And then something quickly here to give them an idea, then the title of it and your description. I don't know if we'll get into actually creating details about it. That is yet to be determined. It depends really on the host and whether they want to do that. Okay, so this is recommendations. Next is about the host or hosts. So it's sort of another section like that. I don't know. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I guess so. It's at this point, it's just putting in the sections, seeing where things will live. It's not necessarily how it's going to be designed, or the final design is going to look. I guess it adds interest. We'll work with it. So, hosts. Next, be a small gallery. Even though you'll be able to click on any of the pictures and it will bring up a light box of all the pictures, I do want to have sort of a variety of images throughout that people can explore. So we'll take this small one. We might ditch this section and just keep with images. Gallery. Gallery, small. Sometimes fingers don't want to be on the right keys. So map and contact. Oh, something that I have as a question mark is testimonials. So we're going to go and throw in testimonials anyways. They have a ton of them, but what I was thinking is to have sort of a picture with it. Probably not necessary to have a picture, but it would be fun. When we were looking at this responsive viewer, I didn't really like how this section, even though I like this section on desktop, I don't like this section on mobile. And a lot of the people looking for place to stay, I'll say 50%. Let's say 50%. Will be looking on their phones. Probably more than 50. So I'm going to just take a different section. I can call it testimonial. Really, it's the review, one of the reviews, or a few of the reviews. Okay, so now we might move that. And I'm wondering, do we need a second call to action before the map? Now, it could be, I think what I'll do, because they don't have their contact information out in public, I think what we'll do is have like map on one side And then the call to action, in this case, book it. We'll call it book. Will be on the other side. And what that will do is lead to another page, or actually it's a kind of a slide out or pop up that somebody can fill in a form if they want to contact them. But at this point, the two places where they have people book is Airbnb and VRBO. Eventually, they'll come off of those. That's a plan for later on in the discussion video. And so eventually that form could be turned into direct booking. But for now, it'll be a contact form and then the two links to the two engines where people can book, or marketplaces. So now let's find something that, what do I have? Picture on the right, picture on the left. We'll do map on the right. I like this little title up there. So I'll take this, and this is going to be our map. Map book, or book map. Book map. And then we need a footer. Doesn't have to be a complicated footer. Take this one, and what I'll probably do is add a menu in between there. Oh, that goes in the footer. All right, so let's see what we have. Actually, what I'm going to do is publish. Just before I go over my sections. So I do have a nav, I have the hero, I have a description, call to action, details, big gallery, recommendation. So these are top recommendations for what to do in town. About the house, small gallery, testimonials, map. So, do I want to move the testimonials? Let's take a look. So if you can picture this big picture. Descriptions. This would be sign up. This details, amenities, gallery. Nice blog. It's about the author, not the author, about the host. Let's change some of these things. Book it. Where's that? that for this section? No. Oh, this is the recommendation because there's nothing in the collection. Okay, so we'll put recommendations. This is about the hosts. Yeah, that's fine. Description. What do we have here? Provincetown. Rental. It's vacation rental. Oh, sorry. All right. We have a nav, our hero, our description, sign up, our call to action, details on the amenities, gallery. Once we have a collection, the recommendations would come in here. What do we have? Ones that look like it. So this is what we've taken. Ah, we do. Okay. Because it's a little distracting. So I'm going to hide this section. Come on. Paste in this one. Call it rec FPO. So I should have the hosts first, maybe. And waiting. So hero, description, amenities, gallery, posts, recommendations, little gallery, testimonials, book it, and footer. Not loving this, but I think what I'll do is once I get approval on this is to put in the images so we can see how that works together. It might just be it needs a bit more space. Okay, that's it for this video. What I'm going to do when once this is approved is to go through and rename these, take out the numbers, make sure that, if we have duplicate things that they're all named correctly and have the same amount of spacing and consistent. Although it does look like mostly everything is there and good. So it's really just these numbers, I believe. And then next time we'll put in all the imagery and the content that we currently have. So content from the original site and content from VRBO listing and the Airbnb listing. All right, until next time, have a good one. Thanks.